Welcome to INFINTECH, where decision makers connect. INFINTECH is organized by Logate, your painless vendor for digital journey, in partnership with Mastercard, empowering connections, shaping tomorrow.
Okay, we need to sit first. It is my pleasure to invite our guest here. First of all, Amel Kovačević, CEO of Telecom. Please, one applause for him. Martin Leberle, CEO of Amel Bank Podgorica, a well-known face here. Yes, I think his second year on our INFINTECH, and Srđan Kondić, CEO of Addiko Bank Srbija.
If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me.
Okay. I have an opening message. Of course, welcome to the INFINTECH leadership panel. I will start with one quote of Winston Churchill, who said, "The key to a leader's impact is sincerity. Before he can inspire with emotion, he must be swayed by it himself. To convince them, he must himself believe." Sincerity, therefore, is the foundation of leadership. At the same time, we know there are no universal type of leader. You know, some leaders are quiet and reserved, others are outgoing and charismatic, some are impulsive, other methodical. Styles differ, but what unites them is, I think, authenticity. Still, regardless of the style, there is one universal function of leadership, to catalyze a clear and shared vision and to ensure commitment to that vision. Because at the end of the day, leadership is the art of getting people to want to do what must be done. That is why I'm honored to welcome leaders from banking and telecom with us today. To begin, I would like to ask each of you to introduce yourself in 3 sentences. Not by your position, but by your values. Who you are as a leader, what are you most proud of, and one key lesson that has shaped you. We will start with Amel.
Thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm very pleased to be with you here. Who am I? Amel Kovačević is somebody who sees complexity of the world, try to understand it, to comprehend it, to process it, and to create some kind of clear vision where to go and strategies where to go for the institutions, organizations which I lead. This is what I do for bread. This is my bread and butter. It's not easy. It's usually quite difficult, depending on the organization, depending on the context. Values. I put myself in position always to believe in that what I analyzed and decided that this is a strategy. I strongly believe that this is the solution, and based on that belief, I'm transmitting it to the people around me, and usually I'm choosing people who are merit-based, associate of mine, who are able to adhere to the vision which I'm sharing. But what created me as a personality is the difficulty of my life. Because, you know, usually we in Balkan says that, you know, the juice squeezed from the stone is the most valuable one. The life is not, it was tough on me, and I was bravely embracing that life so that no fear anymore is there. Let us continue.
Yes, thank you, Amel. Quite inspiring. We will continue with Martin, please.
Good morning, guten Morgen, dobro jutro. My name is Martin. I'm running NLB Banka from Podgorica. And I'm very happy to be here in INFINTECH with you, because here I feel with all you young people like 35. When I look in my passport, it tells me 60. And it tells me that I'm from Germany, you might hear that. I'm more than 40 years in banking, and I'm more than 30 years foreigner, meaning living outside Germany in many interesting countries. Some of them I could even help into the European Union, like Hungary, Poland, long time in Ukraine, in Bosnia, Herzegovina, and now here in Montenegro, and I hope I can help Montenegro into the European Union because I'm European by heart. So 40 years experience as a banker, 30 years abroad. One day I started writing a book, as we all should do in life, and the book is called the PSR Code. PSR stands for passion, smile, and respect. Why? I believe we should do what we do with passion. And I question myself every week, every day, do I really like what I do? And I really like what I do. I like to work with people. I like to work in finance. And there's one rule in my life that when there are 3 Fridays in a row where I leave the office and say, oh my God, in 3 days is Monday and you have to come back here, I quit or retire or I don't know. That never happened so far. Knock, knock, knock. 2 Fridays ahead already, but never 3 in my life. For this helps me, the S stands for the smile, and that means be friendly. A smile doesn't cost me anything, but with a smile on the face, you change the tone and you change any communication, I think, in a more communicative one. And respect, that is for me a very, very important value in life, to show and to give respect to others, a client, a partner, a family member, to everyone. And that is the base to create a relation and to fund trust in a relation. So PSR, this is my credo.
Yes.
I have to say, great kudos to you.
I have a 90 years old mother living in Munich, managing our family house. I'm very proud about her. And she taught me, you always meet people twice in your life, so better be friendly. And after 60 years of life, 40 years of work experience, that is really true. You always meet twice in life, and it really pays out if you show respect and if you are friendly, and this is guiding me very helpful through my life.
Yes.
Beside this, I have 2, I'm very proud about my sons. I have 2, one is 19, one is 20. Both are truly European, so they are German Ukrainians or Bavarian Cossacks, however you would like to say this. The little bit older one is studying international politics in Cardiff and will be one day president of Ukraine or chancellor of Germany. He is not sure. The other one is studying international business in The Hague, but he is also a great football player. And
Yes,
you know, for me as a father, I feel a little bit better when he's focusing on business, but the football story is still not over, and he has a chance to play for the Ukrainian football team and for the German football team. I would like to start with FC Bayern Munich.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. As you can see, this will be stories, not me asking some questions, but the stories about the life of these 3 great people. Srđan, please, what about you?
Well, a little less interesting story. Because I'm a banker by practice, boring. Professor by vocation, even more boring. And for last 7 years, I'm changing the systems, transforming them. This is now currently in the 3rd transformation in the last 7 years. For years, I have studied the companies from the inside, most of the banks. And after that, I'm transforming them, trying to make them more successful, more resilient to the shocks and changes, because we face every, 10 years, some of that, and more ready for the future, which is especially in finance business, now changing more than ever, faster than ever, you know, with all technologies, development and regulations and everything. From the values, what drives me in business and in life is hard work, integrity, and honesty. And that's what those are, values by which I'm lead myself, and what I seek in other people's colleagues, associates, partners, and also in a private life, friends. So with those components, you cannot be successful and you cannot be a good person at the end. And for the lessons you mentioned, I don't know, there is a lot of them, but maybe for this occasion, nothing you can take for granted. So everything changes.
Yes.
In short, words is that.
Yes. Thank you. Also inspiring and not so boring, I could say. Okay, you already talked about these values, and the next question is about the values, but the values of the people that you are working with. Your clients, your employees, your partners. What do you value the most in the people you work with?
For my question. Through my career, I had opportunity to work in different corporate cultures. Sometimes it's very entrepreneurial, sometimes it's socially responsible, sometimes it's corporate culture which is common to the ex-Yugoslavia socialist system. And in all of these organizations, you can find the people who are having those traits, those qualities which are important for organization to be successful. I believe that leadership skills plus expertise is not enough for a company or organization to be successful. You need to have a certain worldview or moral integrity values which are necessary for the organization to have individuals with such kind of qualities in order for organization to be able to navigate through very rough and tough seas which we are passing through. In different organizations, you have different concentration of this quality, and mostly those organizations with high concentration of these qualities are the organizations who are going to be, in the long run, sustainable and successful.
Okay, thank you. Martin?
You understood I'm German, so I'm zack, and I like structure, and my colleagues often have to suffer with me about that. But what I really like is straightforward communication, so no blah blah, speak up, and go straight. And what I really need is a feedback culture. And this is not so easy in this part of Europe, because we have all super egos, and we very often understand the feedback as criticism, and then the stake rises immediately. So that is very difficult to do that, but I really need that, and I try to invite my colleagues to give me straight feedback in order to grow and to learn. For partners, I like very much unconventional people. Not maybe even not typical. My first wife is a very famous, she was my first wife, but she still is a very famous painter. That was a very interesting, for me, balance, banking and art, that really adds a lot of value to my life, and two nice boys were added to my life. And with clients, so I really have the chance to meet very cool people around, innovators, people who have ideas, and this I really enjoy very much, and somehow I try to meet maybe more frequent those people where I also can learn a lot and which open horizons for me.
Great, thank you. Srđan?
Within colleagues, partners, all of them, for me it's the same. On the first spot, it's sparkle in the eye, because I like to work with the people who have a sparkle in the eye, who are eager to make something new, to make something better, that changes and success drives them, that are not doing the job or not having a business with me because they don't have to do, they don't have other choice, it's a very calm river. No, I like the people who are challengers. I like the people, even for the partners, not just for the colleagues, because then your business is also easier and more inspiring. If you work with such a people, it also makes you to think about, to reinvent yourself from time to time, to see broader picture. It makes you also, if you want to catch up with them. That's the first, especially for colleagues, for employees, that's the first thing, a sparkle in the eye and eager for success. Everything can be learned. We are, especially in those businesses, maybe it's not popular for me to say for my business or for colleagues' businesses, but it's not rocket science. Hardworking people who have a desire to learn and succeed, they can learn. We know the examples of the people locally and internationally who changed industries and have been successful in all of them because they have that eager. I'm all my life in banking. I know Amel he was ex-banker, now he's Telecom, who knows what will be next. Maybe Martin and myself will be in some other format and industry after this. But generally, if you have the sparkle, if you like what you do, you can succeed. And I like to be around those people. Second thing is integrity. Because you cannot make a good business with unhonest people, even if they are your colleagues or your business partners. So those are two values that I cherish most.
Yes. So internal motivation and this honesty are also the key facts that we all want to have with the people that we are working with. And I know right now that Martin is good in the building of the houses, as he's right now successfully building his house, just to tell you. And now this little bit maybe tricky question, because I was part of the big company, corporation, I don't know, 20 years ago, and I always were thinking about these leaders in this company. How would they, are there some obstacles for their leadership or for the way they are doing, or if there are some other, things they want to do, but they are not, they're part of this corporate, and corporate has these rules. So how are decisions made in your company? How much freedom do you have as leaders in that process? Because all three of you are part of the big corporates. And how much this freedom would you like to have? Would that be some additional, let's say, good thing for the business you are running? Or let's talk about that a little bit.
My experience is as such that I was running relatively smaller institutions, companies, as well as now I'm running the show for 3,000 people, So when you are in a smaller, more, how can I say, dynamic and fluid environment, decision-making is much more efficient. It is sometimes it is almost informal, but it is going very fast to the right direction through consultations with the people who are able to provide good advices. When you are in a huge corporation which has tons and tons of rules and regulations which has to be followed, it's quite difficult actually. Even if you are the first person in the company who is leading it to the future, it is not easy to have on board all people due to the fact that they do not speak your language usually. What your ideas, entrepreneurial ideas, out of the box ideas are not read by them at all because it is not in the rule book. So then a leader has to go and to disseminate the vision, to talk to the people, to spend a lot of energy actually, to make people becoming a member of your team in order to be successful. Otherwise, it's going to be a frustration. So having a situation that people are, first of all, scared of uncertainty. They don't want to change things. Status quo is something they like because they know exactly what is going to happen tomorrow. In any kind of change, but change is inevitable because everything around us is changing. Technology, demography, politics, economy, competition, everything is boiling. And if you are not able to understand that exogenous variables are there who are very much shaking, that you have to be able to change yourself as well in order to be much more resilient, to be much more, how can I say, long-term sustainable, it will be a problem for you as an individual, not necessarily only for organization as such. So it's a huge effort to be spent in a such. I'm doing it right now. I'm spending a lot of my time talking, explaining my vision.
Yes.
Whether I would like to do so, I will not. I would like to be in much more constructive environment and to have people who understand me on the first sentence to move forward, but unfortunately it's not the case.
That's the situation. Martin, you?
We are saying that we are innovative. And to be innovative, you need trial and error, quick decision making and things like this. But the main word, Srđan said, is integrity. So usually in our bank, we take decisions in committees. And especially in a smaller community, in a smaller country like Montenegro, this is very important to make things very transparent. So if you send me a CV and apply for a job, I will not deal with this. That goes to HR, to committee, to interviews, and maybe at the very end I'm involved, but we do this transparent. We are also hiring brothers and sisters, but in a very transparent way to make sure he is not here because he's a brother, but he is the expert in this field. And on the other hand, as a bank, we have a big responsibility and we have a regulator, dear Governor. So neither the client would be happy nor the regulator if we make one mistake after the other. So this trial and error, this agility is relatively difficult in the bank. So we have to build sandboxes. Saria is sitting there, our chief sandbox officer. And we have to cooperate with startups, with fintechs, with smaller units maybe, where we can trial something and we go to the market when it's perfect, because we cannot afford to make a mistake.
Yes, completely understand, yes. Srđan, what is your opinion here?
In Addiko, company that I'm working for, we like to think about ourselves more like a fintech than a traditional bank. So we must be agile, we must be quick in decisions, also to listen to the smart people that we have in company on various positions, not just the boards. But then, you have from time to time a cold shower that remembers that we are very regulated entity and we are in very regulated industry, so we must stick to some rules, of course, like others. In that sense, we like to make decisions very fast. We have the local rules, group rules, like every such company. Sometimes, it bothers you when you cannot influence on something that maybe you, from the local perspective, think is better. But there is always explanation why you don't see the other side. From the many sayings that I heard in my life, one made the most impression on myself. And I remember that a lot when, you would like to change somebody what you cannot. It says 3 wisest things in life. One is influence what you can, make an impact, don't be passive. Second one is, find a way to deal with what you cannot influence. And third one, maybe most important of all of them, know how to make a difference between the first two. Usually we fight something that we cannot change, and we are passive on the areas where we can have a change. So basically that would be.
Okay, great. Thank you. We have not so much time left, and I know everyone here like storytelling, so we will pass on this question with the stories, personal stories, let's say. And I would like to start with Martin here. Please share one story from your experience that best illustrates good leadership. A real situation that somehow shaped you as a leader. We heard the answer on the first question, but here I would like, and all of us would like to hear a story from you.
I explained that I believe that you always meet twice in life.
Yes.
Yesterday in Srđan was the meeting of the European MGEMs, and after 24 years, I met the colleagues from MChem Ukraine. So in 2001, I was representing our company in MChem Ukraine. And a very touching and guiding for me leadership story comes from the year 2004. Ukraine, later that was called Orange Revolution. People went on the street protesting against the autocrats, people holding them back, not offering them a bright future. And that were really tough times where hundreds of thousands of people were on the streets. There was violence, there was shot on dead people. And also in the bank, my colleagues were really touched and involved, emotionally involved. And they wanted to go also on the street and to protest for their future. So that was a very touching moment. And that happened the first time in my life to me to experience this, and it was not clear what we can do. Other banks shut down. So there were 4 international banks in Ukraine, Citi, ING, Raiffeisen, and us. At that time we were called HVB, Hypovereinsbank. And all these banks closed. And we decided we stay open. But we kept open the doors for employees and clients. So we allowed the employees to come and go whenever they want. It was bloody cold in November, December in Kiev, minus 15 degrees or something like this. So the colleagues who really had a big heart and wanted to fight and fought for their future on the street, they went during the day in shifts. They organized themselves on the street, were protesting, returned, cooked, made, prepared hot tea for each other, but also for the clients. And they were also in the bank during the night. And that was also for our clients an unbelievable experience because they understood in good and bad times they can rely on our team.
Yes,
and that gave us a real boost in the, at that time this was a bank mainly in corporate banking, corporate business. That gave us a real boost. And I still remember, and when you see what's now going on in Ukraine, also an even more tough situation. But that's 21 years ago now, that really shaped my life. And I will never forget about this.
Okay, great story. Thank you. Srđan?
A couple of days ago, I was on a coffee with one of my colleagues from the bank which I used to work before. And he told me that a few of them are going to some trip on a not business trip, private trip, to Prague, to some breweries, I don't know, to drink beer and have fun. And then I said, great, yeah. But then he told me at the end of the conversation, thank you for bringing us together. I said, sorry, what? When we started to transform that bank, I was looking to find the colleagues who are complementary with me and between themselves, You cannot have much gain if you find 10 Srđans or 10 Ivicas, not the point. Also, if you are good, if you catch with Srđan, you catch with Martin, with Amel, but we don't catch and have the same energy between ourselves, it also doesn't make a business. And that also is one of the key lessons that I learned consequentially. They united so good that they are hanging privately together, but also that bank is now even more successful than it used to be. So it's not the point that you make a one-man show and when you leave it collapses. No, the point is that you have strong foundations there and that it be even better when you leave.
Yes. Yes, of course, at the end we are all humans, yes. That's the nice story. And Amel?
3 stories.
3 stories. Sure.
Before few days, I met the CEO of Pay10 in Bosnia, and he was my employee a long time ago. And he reminded me of something I forgot. We were having a Visa and Mastercard processing center in Bosnia called Bankard for 10 banks. I was CEO of that company of 20 people working there. And we were also doing this monthly statement for those banks, And we had some kind of machine which was doing this enveloping and stuff. And It was a nightmare all the time, you know, when first in the month come, and then maybe machine is working, maybe it's not working, and you have 200,000 of envelopes to do. So 3 o'clock in the morning, they calling me, waking up from my dreams. Machine is stopped, what shall we do? So I pick up my family, sit in the car, calling all other guys who are available, who is able to be waked up in that morning. And we went there to do it manually because we had to finish the job. And he was reminding me about that. I forgot that this happened at all. So I believe that the leader is the one who show it by example, not by lip service. Second story. Second story, Bosnia before 1 year or so. There was a huge rainfall in Jablanica region. It was, you know, I don't know how many people died, 50 or something. Total blackout of electricity, no internet, no connection, no mobile telecommunications. Everything was down, you know, it was a really mess. So we went there. I personally was leading the crew, going on all these mountains, checking the antennas and everything. And you know, we were also doing it on purpose to promote, to do some certain propaganda as well, you know, to give some hope to the people around that BH Telecom is the cornerstone of Bosnian society, that we are going to help, that we are helping, that we are going to provide technical support to establish. In less than 12 hours, we established telecommunication services, and everything was getting to the normal. Of course, we later on, actually on the same day, we announced that we are going to give some grants to the municipalities which are in danger. So I felt that people understood that the leadership is made in the rough sea, not when everything is nice, when everything is fine, and you know, it's easy to be on the spotlight talking nice stories. Last, but not the least, is now what I'm doing. I'm running a predominantly state-owned company. I understood, as I said, my job is, I'm not banker, I'm not financier, I'm not this one or that one. I see complexity, and I try to understand it and to provide strategies. My strategy is to acquire my competitor in Bosnia and Herzegovina and in Montenegro as well. And I believe that this is the right thing to do for many reasons. You know, people in a company which I mentioned, you know, which believe that status quo is the best, and not only that, even society is saying, you know, maybe it's wrong, but the leadership is there to be visionary, to be able to explain rationally what is there, and to show the benefit to everybody, to see how it is going to benefit not only a company, but society in general, and how it is going to bring benefits to society as well. So a leader not necessarily has to be somebody who has to be, you know, pleasing everybody, but rather to be somebody who's showing the road, explaining why it is important and why it is beneficial to everybody.
Thank you very much, Amel. Now we will skip to this. Martin also mentioned this ego in one of the answers, and I would like to speak a little bit about that. And we all of us have ego, and this is the I think the huge problem. Suzanne also mentioned it during her talk. How much, Srđan, as a leader, you must suppress your ego in order to be successful? What do you think about the leaders, and where is the line between health, self-confidence, and ego that blocks the team?
Well, it's a constant fight. It's maybe even hardest fight that man must win, because as you said, all of us have ego, and when you climb on some corporate structure, the higher you are, you know, it feeds your ego, and the more, you know, paradoxically, the more successes that you face, you know, it feeds your ego also. And you must win that. You must, because like they say, if you are smartest person in the room, yeah, go out. You must always remind yourself you're maybe more skilled in something, maybe have more experience in something, but you are not, Srđan, you are not the most smart person in the room. And if we are on the same track, like a team, I always challenge my colleagues and also my friends to tell me what I'm doing wrong, where they see, you know, that I should act differently. And they ask me, why are you so boring with that? Of course, you ask that a few people, not everybody you meet. Why are you insisting so much on that? I say, look, guys, I know what I'm good in. I see, you know, shiny side. But what I don't see is something that I'm missing, something that I make mistakes in. And I'm a very selfish guy, so I would like you to give me as much as possible feedback to improve myself. And also when you give me that feedback, of course, sometimes you listen to that, sometimes, yeah, I don't agree with that, sometimes I don't want, yeah, maybe it's wrong, but I don't want to change it because it's part of my personality, part of who I am. But usually, yeah, you digest it, you feel very uncomfortable when people say that to you, but after some time you see how wrong were you in some things.
Yes.
So it's very selfish feeling. You must fight your ego in order to make more successful. And I'm also telling to my colleagues, yeah, it will be easier for you to work also if you give me feedback and I change something. And to friends, yeah, you will deal with me more easily if we change that. But it's very, very hard thing, you know, to push yourself to listen to all of that and more to change some things that you're used to.
Thank you very much. Martin?
Different situations require also different styles. So in a crisis, in an emergency, fire, flood, whatever, there is not much time for discussion, then you have to decide. But in the regular leader life, I prefer to let others on the driver's seat and I sit beside. So that gives me also time to look to the left and to the right and to have a little bit more strategic vision. But also this makes good drivers around me, whom we need one day. So it is very much on the situation. I like to drive fast. And as a leader, you have to be careful that you are driving much faster than the team. Because one day you are 3 kilometers ahead and the team is 3 kilometers behind. That doesn't help no one. So you really have to be careful to pick up the speed of the team or to coach the team to run quicker, but you have to align this speed. And that is also about decision making and how you manage your ego.
Yes, and you also talk about this feedback and everything like that. I think that is very, very important to have this freedom to talk. Yes. Amel?
Throughout the career, I had superiors who were, you know, autocratic, who were, you know, afraid of sharing their space, and at the end, usually such kind of experiments failed in general. And this is what somebody mentioned you, or that we have actually to allow other people to become leaders behind us. When I came into position of CEO of BH Telecom, I actually had the privilege to select and to invite people to come together with me in a team from outside. The people whom I have opportunity to work with, who are really true leaders and who are actually grew up under my patronage in previous activities. And I believe that if you have a really strong team, if all of them are MBA players, you know, only you can grow together with them, you know. Yes, it's not, you should not be afraid that, you know, the people around you are able to actually to outperform you, because the result is, we are result driven. It is not some kind of pigeon competition or you know, beauty competition. It's a, we have a result to achieve, and that result is achieved only if the people are free, in a sense that the creativity and is there, and that they are not afraid of making mistake in a case that it is made sincerely through some kind of experiment which is taking place. So I believe that that I am able to understand second or different opinion, and I'm listening often, because I don't pretend to be the smartest guy in the room.
Okay, great. That's the second. That's the one of the facts and conclusions of this, let's say, panel. And now for the final round, because we don't have much time, I would like to speak about this purpose, because we all know if you are, someone said, if you are going to work without purpose, 2-3 Fridays, these are 3 Fridays, that means you don't have a purpose. If you are going to work without purpose, that sooner or later doesn't end well. Could you share your stories about that? What is your purpose? What cause do you serve? What gives some, let's say, meaning to your leadership? We will start with Amel.
From me, always difficult question. On breakfast this morning, somebody was mentioning, are you there for money or for something else? You know, we study in the school that you have some kind of Maslow pyramid of needs and stuff, you know, so you have to satisfy certain physiological, existential needs in order to be able to function in your life. After that, you need to have a purpose and to run your life in a way that you believe it is in accordance with your values, whatever the values are. And in many cases, I made a choice always not going for money, but rather to see a meaningful thing which is running somewhere, where I see that there is a positive energy, that there are some people who are doing great things there, and that we can maybe change the world for better in some way. And this is something which inspires me. And I am very sincere at hearing such kind of ideas, yes, so that people very easily can recognize that I'm not an actor, somebody who is performing, rather that I fully believe in whatever at that point of time I'm working with. It's not easy, because my wife many times says, oh, why this choice now, you know? But at the end, long run, I am very happy with what I have achieved, in a sense that I believe that behind is some kind of legacy which at least for a millimeter moved this world to be a better place.
Yes, great, thank you, great answer. Martin?
I have quite an actual example. You know, I'm now starting my last active mandate, yes, for NLB as the CEO. And in order to get this, you have to pass some hurdles. The last one was the central bank, who approved me last week, thanks a lot. But in NLB, we have to go through this fit and proper process, police statements and things like this. And finally, the group CEO and others interview you. And the group CEO, Blaž Brodnjak, asked me, Martin, where do you see yourself in January 2030? That is when my mandate is over. And I said, in 2030, I will sit in my to-be-built house in Grachovo, in the jacuzzi, with a bottle of Vranac in the hand, and I will look down to Podgorica. I see my former bank, my former colleagues, my successors, and I will be very proud and happy how the bank was developed, where the bank stands now, and what the young guys are doing with this bank.
Yes, great.
And Blaž said, that is a great idea. I also retire in the same months, and I come and join you, and I bring the wine, because Blaž is a very good winemaker. So we have a story. But besides jacuzzi and Vranac, I decided to write a book about my life. And I sold the rights already to Hollywood, so that will be a blockbuster. George Clooney signed for... No, but what really drives me is to leave something behind where not only I can be proud about, but maybe also my sons.
Great, great, thank you. Srđan?
We spoke in a backstage about one event that made all of us in ex-Yugoslavia very sad. It was death of our famous singer, Halid Bešlić. Probably everybody knows about that. And what is specific from him, you know, most of the singers are kind of businessmen or kind of the very extravagant people. Halid was not that. He was a man with a soul, but also with a purpose. And he was helping a lot of people, mostly anonymously, sometimes publicly, which is also good, because when you help somebody to some purpose publicly, you invite also others to help and to run. But Hali did it all the time, all his life, and he said, I want to be remembered by a good human being, not as a good singer. And he made it. You know, I don't know when ex-Yugoslavia was more sad than when he died. Somebody says when Tito died, but somebody says it was not real sadness, whatever. So that's a fresh example. How do you make your purpose for people to remember you? Mm-hmm. So what is driving myself is, first, you need to develop yourself. You need to learn a lot. It's very good when you have good mentors, good colleagues in the beginning of your professional career. So you need to develop yourself and to work hard. After that, it's very good feeling when you try to help others to develop, and when you see others people's success that you at least helped a little bit. And finally, when you are so lucky that you succeeded in life or career or whatever, that you have some influence or something which matters in that sense, to help to the society. But this is not like a phrase, to help, I don't know, to give just money to the Red Cross, but to influence not just your personal assets, but also in a company or in society, when you can influence to go to help to some people who had less luck than yourself. Great. I think it's the ultimate feeling that drives you.
Yes, that could be the great end of our panel. Let's all of us try to be good humans. I hope that you are also enjoying these talks like I am. Thank you very much. Thank you guys very much for your inspiring talks and reflections. And I hope to see you next year.